My name is Julia. I'm back. This time we're going to talk about restorative yoga. So I just put out a structural video series, and now I'm going to talk about restorative. Again, the beauty of the yoga canon is there are so many different styles of yoga. So, and I have tried and trained and practiced many of them and taught. So, and I use all of them. So I wouldn't live without any of them. I wouldn't trade them in for the other. Today we're going to talk about restorative. So, restorative yoga is it's a style of yoga that requires props. So you really can't do much of restorative practice if you don't have the closet of your necessary objects, your props. So first I'll talk about what those are. But again, the restorative practice is, it's for the nervous system. So we hold poses longer than an average class, so 5 to 15 minutes, 20 minutes sometimes. And basically we hold the poses over the props, using the props to support the body, to open the body in different poses that the body will just begin to breathe on its own. So, and at the same time, you get a wonderful stretch, and you get a super regulated nervous system, which is, we could all use. We could really all use that. So the props that we use, again, if you're going to do any restorative practice, you want to have these all handy. So again, we got the strap, the 2 blocks, 2 blankets. Mexican blankets are good, just folded. I don't know the size, but they're standard. You can find them. And an eye pillow, wonderful, filled with flax seeds or lavender, whatever you have in there. And a bolster. So bolsters come in different sizes and shapes. Some are round, some are flat, we even have pranayama pillows that are even smaller, like a third of this size. But this is a good standard bolster size. This is actually maybe a little on the bigger side. So you might want to watch for certain poses. For instance, if you do a back bend over the bolster, it might be too much on your spine if you don't have a regular back bending practice in a yoga practice, and especially if you haven't done your twists to warm up. So I wanted to just show the yoga props, and the other one that I don't have here is a sandbag, and I highly recommend having 1 or 2 sandbags at your disposal when you're doing restorative yoga. They come in very handy and help weight down the body, which again, it reduces the pressure, the mental flying away of the mind. When you have sensation like pressure on the body, it allows you to sink deeper into your body instead of going up into your mind. So yeah, these are our lovely props, and I will just show. I'll just show one pose. I'm going to put a pose together for you using the props. And the pose that I'm going to do today is called Supta, which means lying down, Baddha, which means bound, Konasana. So Kona means angle, asana means pose. Supta, Baddha, Konasana. So this is a very popular restorative pose that people love. So there's different ways you can set this up, but I'm gonna show you one way to do this. So we take the bolster. Again, we would want to warm up before we did this because we're coming into and holding a back bend. And I'll give an option if you haven't warmed up or if this is too much for you. We take our pillow, which is a blanket for our head. And again, different pillow heights for different people. So some people like a neck roll, some people like their head a little more up. But be mindful, because sometimes we tend to move towards our imbalances instead of equalizing them through the practice. So that happens a lot. People will crave the extreme of a pose when actually they need to be doing a more gentle version because they're hypermobile or something like that. So we're going to go like this. Again, this is just, why don't we actually use the blanket? Okay. So we're going to take the blanket, the extra blanket. We're going to roll it up in a tube like this. So it's just a long tube. And then I'm going to do the kind of works version here since we have all the props to use. And again, this is a very long strap. You don't always have this long of a strap. You're going to make a really big loop by putting the strap through the belt buckles and back through one of them. And that way you can adjust the strap by pulling on the length. And then you want to have the buckle, not under you, but at your side. So I'm going to put this over my head. It's going to go right at the back of the top of the sacrum, hips. And we're going to sit about a fist distance from the bolster. So that basically that means that we're not arching too drastically over that bolster. We're giving a little 1 or 2 fists away. And then we take the strap. We bring the feet together, bound angle, feet together. Then we're going to pull on the strap. Actually, let's go like this. Okay, everything for ease, right? So we got this buckle right here. We pull on it. We want it to be taut, but not like, we never want to be like this too tight, right? We want looseness. We want a little wiggle room. And then we take the blanket over the tops of the feet, wrap the ankles so that we don't get knees draping towards the floor, which what that's going to do to your femur bone is going to draw, if this side of your femur bone goes down, this side's going to pop up, just like a seesaw, right? So if you draw this down, this is going to pop up out of the femur socket. So people think it's really great to have their knees way to the floor, but you're popping your femur bone out of its socket, and you're not going to feel very good, if you do that over time. It's going to cause problems. So anyway, we're going to lay back onto the bolster. Take our head very gently onto the blanket. I'm looking for my eye pillow. There it is. Okay. So again, propping up the head so that what we want is the chin pointing towards the sternum. So the best we can do that, again, we don't want too much, we don't want the head back like this. The air wave is too open, it's blocked in that sense. We want the chin facing the sternum here. And then we can take our eye pillow, place it right over the eyes, and then we just bring the palms open onto the floor. The shoulder head are rolling open. And then if you have sandbags, you place a sandbag here and maybe on the feet. 2 sandbags, one here and one on the feet. And maybe put a blanket over you. And then you just stop talking and relax. Yeah. So it's very comfortable. We're going to come out after 10 or 15 minutes and feel a lot better.